Wait, what was the question?
What is the gravity minimized position for radial and ulnar deviation?
Gravity minimized solution.
Yeah, just pronated,
Pronated form.
supinated either way, if, just in this plane of movement, right? It's this, yeah. And then against gravity for radial deviation, what is that position? Yep, just like a mid forearm position, and then against gravity for ulnar deviation.
That makes sense.
So that's not something you're gonna have to do. Your book shows it. Just do again, like
This is one of
provide
those ones where you're
resistance
like,
in the gravity minimized plane for this one. Yeah, you're never gonna.
This is not something that we
I'm gonna be applying some
often
resistance
do.
here.
Although washing your hair, I suppose.
So yeah, so for radial and ulnar deviation, you're just gonna be applying resistance for manual muscle testing in the gravity minimized plane because we know our force is greater than that of gravity. Okay.
Which you will state on your competency if you do that, right? I'm able to apply resistance in a gravity minimized position because I know the force I'm producing is greater than that of gravity. Okay. All right, so as we said, gravity minimized, go ahead and bring your pinky towards me. Bring your thumb towards yourself. Okay.
Which one looks like it has more range of motion?
Ulnar or radial deviation? Ulnar deviation, why do we think that is? Based on the lecture you just maybe listened to yesterday. Which bone articulates with the carpals? The radius articulates with the carpals.
The ulna articulates at the humerus. The radius articulates
at the carpals.
Yeah, because you have space.
Yeah, so we have that gap of space between the head and ulnar stylet of our ulna and our carpals. And that space has a super important complex of ligaments called the triangulofibrocartilage complex, right? But there's no bony articulation, so we have a lot more room until we hit either bony articulation or the extent to which our radial collateral ligament will stretch for our ulnar deviation. Versus our radial deviation, we hit a bony articulation pretty quickly, right? Okay. So, to measure, we'll do ulnar deviation first. They're the same landmarks.
So for your learning, this is the position that you're gonna measure it in, but we're gonna do it here
So you can all see.
so you can see the landmarks, okay?
You're gonna come down the third right and try to find the capitate bone. So the capitate, you're gonna come down the metacarpal, the third finger, you're gonna feel a little gap. If you flex the wrist, you'll feel the capitate like kind of pop up into that zone. That's how you know you found it. Okay? You're gonna place the axis of your goniometer right over the capitate. The stationary arm is gonna go down the length of the forearm. The movable arm will come right along the third metacarpal. Can you bring your pinky to yourself? Towards your nose? Bring your pinky that way.
I was just trying to think. If I was on the mat, if my arm was on the mat, you would say like, okay, move your pinky towards the window,
Yeah.
your thumb towards
And so you have 40 degrees of ulnar deviation. The black number here is 140. Does that make sense? So I would have read the red number because that made more sense, right?
So
Same thing.
ulnar deviation is how many degrees? 40? Is that what she said? I was almost So radial deviation should realistically be this.
So go ahead and bring your thumb this way.
But this
It's
is
hard in
Here,
pronation.
I'm gonna do it this way.
Okay. Okay, bring your thumb that way. Can you go any further? 30 degrees of radial deviation. Okay? Cool. Manual muscle testing, as we said, you can do in a gravity minimized plane. Again, we're gonna do it up so you can see it. But for, just do supinated this way. For,
Turn it around.
okay. Radial deviation, you're gonna place fingers in here along the second metacarpal. You don't wanna push against the thumb side. You don't wanna push against the phalanges. You're gonna go ahead here. and then ulnar deviation, you're gonna go against the fifth metacarpal. Okay?
But again, that's gonna be
Down there.
down here.
Alright, go ahead and give that a